think it worked. Just leave the rest to me. I swear I'll find out something. I might even be able to connect to the outside world. If I can, I'll see if I can call for help. So please just wait a little while longer. Just hold tight and put your faith in me.
As I was about to leave, I decided to leave him with one last thing. No matter what, we're getting out of here. You and all the rest of us, as friends.
Friends? Even me?
Thank you.
Thank you, Makoto.
How'd it go? Well, it went okay, but all the, documents were gone, just like I told you. My reply was an unintentional mix of acting and real feelings.
I see.
Then there's nothing left for us here.
Goodbye.
Before I knew it, Kyoko was walking away. She wasn't acting anymore, that much was for sure. Kyoko!
What?
Yes? So we're just gonna split up?
Why
Of
is
course,
that?
I have no reason to stay with you at this point. Well, maybe, but isn't that a little too direct? Should I hesitate and fumble for something to say? You're so high maintenance. That's not what I meant. I just had more I wanted to talk to you about, like, what are you going to do about Sakura? Well,
true.
something has to be done, it's true. But the way
However-
things are right now, there's no way to persuade anyone. They don't have the mind to listen. Then what should we... If we can find some new clue, that would likely change the situation. That's all we can hope for right now. Which is why Alter Ego... All we
Correct.
can do is wait and believe in our friends. You're right. That's our only option. We parted ways and I headed back to my room. I'm kinda tired, so I laid down in bed. Maybe it was because of the stress of moving Alter Ego, but I was way more tired than I realized. So before long at all, I had completely dozed off. Huh? The sharp sound of the doorbell pierced my sleepy haze and pulled me back to the real world. Makoto, get out here. Kyoko, what's going on?
Indeed.
Hina just came to see me and she was white as a ghost. It sounds like something's happened. What? As soon as I heard those words, my heart started to beat a little faster. I suddenly found myself wide awake. She said for one of us to come to... She said for us to come to the rec room. The rec room? Okay, let's hurry.
Makoto! Kyoko!
Hina, what's wrong?
Something's not right. In the rec room.
What's inside? There was a window on the rec room door, and I hurried to look inside. And when I did... Sakura? Is she unconscious? She's sitting up in the chair like she's bowing her head.
Hey,
What's going on? Did something happen to her?
I was just walking past and I happened to notice her through the window, but I couldn't get the door open. I tried knocking, I tried calling her name, but she wouldn't respond. So what should we do? What are we gonna do?
First of all, we need to get into that room. But the door's locked, right? And if we break in, we'll be violating school regulations. We're going to force our way in. I just said, the door isn't locked. It's not locked because the rec room door doesn't have a lock. Huh? Then why? It feels like the door's pressing up against something inside the room. Is it the chair? Chair.
in other
Either way,
words,
this door isn't locked, which means, as far as I can tell, the rule doesn't apply. Then there's no problem if we break in? Let's
indeed.
smash the window. That should be the fastest way.
Okay, I'll go get something to break it with. Wait right here.
Inside the rec room, Sakura still hadn't moved an inch. She's just unconscious, right? Is she okay? I mean, it's Sakura, so I'm sure... Kyoko didn't reply. There was only silence. But that silence didn't last long.
Here! I found a broom! In the classroom! Use it!
Makoto.
You can handle this, right, Makoto?
Come on, please, hurry!
Okay, you two, stand back. I took hold of the broom and swung as hard as I could. Aiming directly at the window, all it took was one solid hit. The window shattered into 100 pieces, scattering across the rec room floor. I stuck my hand through the now open window and started jostling the chair leaning against the door. The chair's pretty heavy, but if I can just... I pushed on it with all my strength, and finally the knob turned. Sakura! I ran up to her as fast as I could. But the moment I laid my hand on her... all I felt was cold death. I could feel only the last lingering warmth of a living body. Life had abandoned Sakura's body. And then...
A body has been
Hey,
discovered!
King.
After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
Good to see you. Long time no see.
Dangan Ronpa.
Huh? Sakura's dead? She's really dead?
I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on. At Sakura's dead body.
I don't know, feels like a long time.
We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura really was dead? Checking for a pulse or a reaction?
I have to go get them. I have to go get the others.
On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room. And I... Why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there motionless behind her while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there, unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long...
I got everyone.
Ogre?
Oh, so she's dead, huh?
Sakura's been killed. I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just
You
a
heard the
second.
announcement just now, right? So you know what this means. Sakura was murdered, and by someone in this very room. Is that what you were going to say?
No. Whoever killed her. It's not just someone in this room.
It's your
It was
fault.
one of you! Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, one of you killed Sakura! Yeah, the other person is, Chihiro. In the chapter picture.
You're accusing us before we've even begun the investigation?
Or I guess in this case, alter ego. I don't need to investigate anything! Because you hated her! You hated the sight of her! One of you didn't, I know it!
Who's saying this? You know it? Who's saying that? Oh, Monokuma.
Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad! What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious?
on.
I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer.
It's the Monokuma file!
And don't get so mad, Miss Asahina, or you're gonna ruin that lewd little face of yours. Now then, with that,
Hold on. There's something I want to ask you.
Huh?
It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura.
Say what?
Huh?
Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again, and then...
In
Then
other
I
words,
killed her? Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close.
totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, thank God for that. It saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. 'Cause even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that.
Hey!
I gotta tell ya, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she'd violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her. So I don't know who it was, but whoever the black end is this time, I owe you one. You owe them one? Oopsie! Before you get all pissy-potty at me, you better figure out who did it first. 'Cause I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
What the hell? He owes them one? I hate him! I hate this whole thing!
Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind, after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway.
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead.
Then let's decide who will stand guard this time.
I'll do it.
Hina?
I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
Okay, then Hina's guard number 1, but we need one more. Kyoko, that's you.
What?
You're always a thorn in my side. This time, just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. An order?
That's
Fine, I'll stay behind.
Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we?
Hold on! Before that, there's something I want to say.
Which is...
Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene.
What?
It's your
One of you killed Sakura. I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate.
I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here.
Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise? I won't ask you to let all of us in here. Just me. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway.
Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway.
And you, Hiro? Do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care? Then it's decided.
Nothing's decided. I know
down.
how you feel, Hina, but you should agree to his request. But we have to find out who killed Sakura. For those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine. Guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her.
Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer, all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura. It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's a kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. Hey, Remix! However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that? The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And the door had been jammed shut with the chair from inside the rec room, which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words,
This is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
Are
Hey.
you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
That's
When you
fine.
break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right? The
Correct.
second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime's committed. Oh?
In other
Basically, the
words,
killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that. But in this
However-
case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list. The
It's
third
true.
type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
in
They
other
stay
words,
hidden, and when the doors open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible. Maybe.
It's
And the
true.
fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room?
In
By
other
that I
words,
mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too? I believe
Indeed.
so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 seems the most likely in this case?
it's
That's a
true.
good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I really can't say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Whoa, everyone scared me. Save really quick. And then get to investigating. Or, well, I guess we'll talk to people first. What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. He's not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I'd better go before he crushes my soul completely. But for
However-
Sakura to have been killed... Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's
And she
true.
certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. Against her.
We already know who did it! Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It has to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto?
Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more.
Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all 3 of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room.
What?
After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me... She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon.
By noon. The Monokuma file said she died right around then.
I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her by force even, this never would have happened.
Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. But the fact that she had asked those 3 to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I just heard with the 3 of them directly. What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go to see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come
If you're all
on.
finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty.
Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you.
I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me. Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
But
Just a
that's
second.
strange.
Huh? What is?
You
Hey.
see what's scattered around the can?
Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
But they
Correct.
aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it.
Why does that matter?
I can't say for
So-
sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on.
An important clue. I'm not sure I see how.
What else do we have? Oh,
This looks like some kind of wrapper.
oh, that's...
Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little.
So you gave that candy to Sakura.
I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them.
You really like them that much?
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor.
Hina. Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya. However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting? Yes,
Naturally.
most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died.
It's Cass! Look at those happy faces.
There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle.
I think I'm gonna have to get something to eat soon. I'm getting kind of shaky, like I'm gonna faint. So I might have to eat while I investigate, I don't know.
Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure.
Interesting. This locker's very dirty.
Huh? The locker's open, and there on the inside. It's a handprint?
Why?
What's a handprint doing here?
It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra.
So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility.
Huh? Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right?
Well, yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door.
Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean?
I'll go grab something and bring it back here once I finish investigating the room. I'll grab something. But I'll bring it here. You won't have to wait for me to eat.
There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is, how'd they get those figures inside the bottles?
So...
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle.
Huh?
You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside. You've never seen that?
Oh, yeah, maybe I have.
In
So
other
this is the
words,
Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle's sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass in the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. There's a bloodstain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Anything here? That same shelf full of magazines. That's all different kinds of magazines here. I don't think there's anything else to investigate, really. Didn't I investigate it all? I think. Bottles. I don't think there's anything else lying around. I'm gonna save it really quick. Gonna go grab some quick food. Sorry. I really do need to eat. I'd rather not faint on you guys. And I will come back and stuff my face and read at the same time. But try to make it so you can understand what I'm saying. I will be right back, guys. Sorry.
occasionally go quiet, it's because I'm eating, but I don't think there's much opportunity for that. If I have to read. Can I leave?
I need to examine the crime scene as much as possible. Oh. What do I need to examine? Oh, no, I didn't...
Hey,
I meant to look at this. Something. What am I missing? I searched over here, though. Oh, the door, maybe? Or the chair. Oh.
Thank you. Sorry if I took a while or if it seemed like a while.
The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door... I literally just took a bite of some food, and look how much energy I have again.
I don't think I examined the window either, so thank you.
The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism we used on the chair.
Thank you.
In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Okay, let's examine this. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window. Which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism we used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it.
Hey, Stony. Welcome, welcome.
This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Well,
listen.
Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part. Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave. Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. Uh-oh! They're officially dating, it's official. But she's right, I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say.
Let's go, let's go.
Those 2 people probably went back to their rooms. Oh. Hooray.
How far have I gotten?
We're on the deadly life part, which means someone's been murdered.
That's how far I've gotten.
I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
Who's there?
the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall. Slither.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something. I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said two, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Just one more. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to ask something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. How'd you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that? Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura? No way, I totally didn't! Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious. The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office. I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets. Sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big, goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh? Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again, and shoved it back in his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash? Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me... Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Pocket trash. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor in the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So, where should I start? At the chem lab? Oops.
What?
Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, I got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes sir, I understand. So, did you find out anything? He just goes, shh. Somehow I can sense him saying leave me alone without him having to say it. This isn't my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. It looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So
That's
in
right.
other words,
It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is what happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Sorry, when it happened, not what happened. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I'd better not leave a footprint. What about these? These are footprints? And they're only in front of the shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? I just read that really weird. We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen. Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay. So I got to work, and before long, I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me.
I see.
So, when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's
Makoto,
certainly
are they yours?
possible.
No! Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately? But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine what they do belong to. Then these prints are a really valuable clue. I should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. Derp. There's also the remains of a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. Sorry. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Let's see, what's on this shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. Excuse me, so I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit, section A, derp. Huh? But wait! There's one bottle that's labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put it there on accident? So on this shelf it looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents? I don't know. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. Reagents, maybe? I don't know. How have you lived in this ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh? What, do you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world? The words of a lifelong loser I can't read, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I could consider this part of the shelving unit section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. On this shelf is... one look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section C. I should try to find out more about this shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, I guess, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A there was a bottle with a label from Section C. Stop making me say section! What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on there. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take another look around the rec room. I was wondering why I couldn't fast travel. So, Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying. Well, I've made some progress on my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These 3 things have revealed new clues. You'd do well to look them over once more. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body. Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to, although there are still some times.
can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it. That's
true.
totally normal. Then how can you... I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind. More
Hey.
importantly, look here. Her shoes? You
Correct.
see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out. That
I
powder is
see.
clue number 1.
Hey,
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
it's
Actually,
true.
even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so just let me explain. It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing. Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's
So
true.
that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. Kyoko touches dead bodies. Pretty much. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. She said the bottles. I think Kyoko said she'd found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new. Something new.
Hey,
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. A correlation. Hey, Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is? I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions so that everyone can have confidence in their outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer? I do trust you to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree? Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment? Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces, too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that? I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya's not here, so... Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. When I'm gone, while I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is about, but... what other choice do I have? I better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting. Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So, what kind of experiment are we doing? I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected and one of the Monokuma bottles still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced. Which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same, and nothing else could really affect the weight.
So
Now,
then,
here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now, what might you expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out, or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here or there. Okay, then let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew
Just as I thought. What? The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together. And I believe you'll arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. And now the magazines, I think she said. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine's upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident? If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is... On one of the pages near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in bold, bloody letters, sorry. And it said, Toko. Could this be a dying message? then it
Correct.
would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this... It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message. But just to be
However-
clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it for the benefit of others who might come looking.
Hey, is that... That says Toko, right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Then she's the killer, right?
Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer.
I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Oh.
Whoops, you caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time. But the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. I mean, I'm probably gonna get to save in a sec, just in case. Whoa. Did you see that? Monokuma made his announcement, and everyone began to meet up, one after the other. And then...
The ultimate martial artist!
Look at that smiley face. A locked room murder mystery! What the...
Oh, I've just recently discovered the power of emoticons! Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive.
Yes,
For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body!
This is just plain creepy.
And how about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put in a sad face, it makes it look super negative. For example,
This is one of my favorite things he does.
do you have 100 friends?
He's right! That does make it seem sad. Sad. But yeah, seriously, this is one of my favorite things he does with the smiley face and the sad face.
I can't wait!
Now then, please get on the elevator. I'll see you all down there.
What the hell was that? I don't get it.
I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
I don't
look at
think
me.
I'm acting casual.
Don't be
I mean,
mean.
I didn't murder anyone.
Yeah, I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer? Whatever.
Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. The killer. The one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. And yet, someone killed her. And that person is here? That person is one of us? I
Don't
said
look
it
at
before
me.
and I'll say it again. It wasn't me. The culprit is one of us. Make no mistake about that.
Because I didn't do it! How many times do I have to tell you? What the heck? How can you just stand there and say you didn't do it without even breaking a sweat?
Hey,
Standing around here isn't going to do any good. Let's get going. Come on, it's time to put an end to this. I made my way toward the elevator. But with each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close, and felt it begin its sinister descent. Derp derp. The elevator lowered, uttering its all-too-familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again.
Just the 6 of you, huh? Really? That's so few! You must be so lonely!
You say that like it's not your fault we're all that's left.
I wonder, will the class trial end with one less classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely?
Now then.
Are we ready to begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned seats.
And so the curtain opened for the 4th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial.
A diddly doddly doodly. Every time, I'm telling you. Every time. Gonna do it every time. I don't think I got any new skills, but... I don't think I did. Nope, I didn't. Let's go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, where to begin?
We already know who did it.
Whoa! Deja vu!
The one who killed Sakura is one of the people that hated her. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It was one of you.
Idiot.
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah! I'd never kill someone, no way!
I don't want to hear your stupid excuses.
Hina seems really sure that one of those 3 is the killer. But she must have some reason for believing that.
It was one of you. One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
That's low. That's about as low as you can get.
Some concrete reason why Hina suspects those 3 specifically. I'm sure she's mentioned it before.
It was one of you. One of you killed Sakura. And what reason do you have? Because you hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
That's low.
That's about as low as you can get. It was one of you killed. And what reason do you have? Because you hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make it.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
That's low. That's about as
Keep
low
missing.
as
I
you
gotta
can
do my
get.
concentration thing then.
It was one of you killed. And what reason do you have? Because you hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
Got it.
No, that's wrong. Another reason you suspect them is because Sakura wanted to meet with them, right?
Yeah, and that was right before she died. So there's no doubt about it. One of those 3 killed her.
Sorry, I'm still eating. Are my parents from Asia or America? My parents are from Disney World.
I can't disagree with Hina. There's good reason to suspect all 3 of them. Then does that mean one of them did it?
Sakura wanted to meet with all three of them? There's no way that's not suspicious! One of you is absolutely guilty.
I don't deny that she wanted to